Hey everybody, welcome to JLB Sports TV. I am Justin Block, and today Liverpool drew 2-2 against Manchester City at the Etihad. Now going into the match, Manchester City were short of a couple players. The Toure brothers are of course away at the African Cup of Nations. Vincent Kompany actually missed this clash, so City were short in midfield and defense today, and in contrast to Liverpool, who actually had a full strength starting 11 for the first time in a long time. Jose Enrique back from a hamstring injury, back at left back, Glenn Johnson moved to right back, and of course Daniel Sturridge and Jordan Henderson retained their places at striker and attacking central mid respectively. So with Liverpool having their full strength starting 11 and their best side, in my opinion, out on the season, 3 points were always to be had against Manchester City, a weakened Manchester City side, and to be honest, Liverpool dominated as you would expect. They outpossessed, they outpassed, they outshot Manchester City. They held 55% of the possession, had a passing completion of 83%, and actually doubled the amount of shots they took compared to Manchester City. Liverpool took 22 shots compared to City's 11, and I believe they also had about 40 more passes in Manchester City's final third compared to Manchester City and Liverpool's final third. So Liverpool were in the Manchester City final third so much, and they're unlucky not to come away with 3 points today. Looking at the goals, Edin Dzeko's first goal was honestly just a mistake from Daniel Agger. Instead of Agger staying with Dzeko and playing the ball once it arrived, he just decided to gamble and was, I guess, caught napping. Easy finish for Dzeko, but moments later, Dzeko actually went down with an injury, and while he was down on the pitch and Manchester City were essentially reduced to 10 men, Daniel Sturridge had a completely, he just obliterated the ball. It was a strike that had just so much swag attached to it. Drilled it past Joe Hart, did not celebrate swag there, and it was controversial in Manchester City's mind because Dzeko was down on the ground injured, and in that situation many times referees will actually just stop the game, or the opposing team out of sportsmanship will just kick the ball out and they'll let the injured player recover. But suddenly, as soon as Daniel Sturridge scored, Edin Dzeko was miraculously healed, popped up to complain to the ref. And throughout the match, Manchester City fans would actually boo Daniel Sturridge for taking the goal while Dzeko was down. But instead, they should have actually been booing Edin Dzeko, who, because he was down faking an injury, actually cost Manchester City a goal. So a little bit of misplaced anger from Manchester City fans when Edin Dzeko, because he was a bitch, completely cost Manchester City that goal. And at the end of the half, Daniel Sturridge actually picked up a little bit of a thigh injury, was able to get it out, played on in the second half, but Brendan Rodgers said after the game that he will miss the midweek clash, I think, for England. So good, Daniel Sturridge not going on an international duty for England midweek. Keep him healthy for Liverpool. Now going into the second half, Liverpool continued to dominate, but Manchester City did have a couple opportunities. Around the 60th minute, I began to get the feeling that these teams are really playing Russian roulette with the ball. End-to-end action, non-stop. Defenses were nervy the entire time, and both teams were really going for it, and by going for it, leaving themselves exposed. Now, Steven Gerrard's goal, I did not expect that to happen, but when you saw the ball float down majestically to Gerrard, right in the center of the park, wide open space, that's classic Steven Gerrard there. Kind of reminded me of, I believe, his 2005 or 2006 FA Cup final goal against West Ham. Just an absolute screamer of a strike. It was like the lightning bolts of Zeus were thrown down for the heavens, and it made contact with Gerrard's right foot, and he fired it in. Great goal. Should have been the winner for Liverpool, but they could not hold on to possession, and Pepe Reina honestly fucked up a little bit. At that point in the game, when Liverpool are ahead with only about 15-20 minutes left, you really want to see this death by football that Brendan Rodgers preaches, where Liverpool can sort of hang on to the ball and kill the ball, or kill the game off through passing, but Liverpool just aren't quite there yet. And they were unable to do so, but Pepe Reina should still be blamed for the second goal. But we've seen him actually come out and do what he did today many, many times, where it looks awkward, but I think Pepe Reina has done it so many times that he knows what he's doing, because usually when he comes out and the attacker sees Reina all of a sudden in front of him, he either misshoots or doesn't misplace pass because he's honestly surprised that Reina is there. And 100% of the time it has worked out for Pepe Reina, except this one time today. But when you screw up, that's all anybody's going to talk about, the one time you fucked up. And Reina did today, and it ultimately cost Liverpool 3 points. Now my stud of the match has to be Daniel Sturridge. He was so immense today. I got on him a little bit for not holding the ball and really maintaining possession against Arsenal as well as I would have liked, but he did so today. Sturridge's movement was fantastic, he's pacey, and he just has that striker instinct that, you know, hunt in the box, really want to get the goals that Liverpool have honestly been missing since Torres left. So Daniel Sturridge was essential as a central striker today. Liverpool look like a complete team in attack now with Sturridge at the helm. Just he has so many great qualities as a striker, and I think the £12 million will ultimately prove to be a bargain for Liverpool, especially if he continues on this run of form. My dud of the match, although it'd be really easy to give it to Pepe Reina or Daniel Agger for their really bad errors, I'm going to give it to actually Jose Enrique. Enrique came back, and although he's physically fit, he's nowhere near short of match fitness. His crossing today was like it was the worst crossing I've seen for a left back since Paul Konchesky suited up for Liverpool. His crossing was that woeful. It was good to see him dodge forward and get ahead in attack again and use his strength to overpower attackers in his final third. But to me, he was bad at left back today, and that's why Martin Skirtle eventually came on near the end to replace him. Now, we've seen Liverpool. They have yet to beat a team in the top half this season, but they have played these teams to a T. City twice, you could say that they should have taken 6 points from each fixture. Man United at home in the first half, they actually bossed United around until Shelby got sent off. Man United in the second half at Old Trafford, much improved after a very poor first half. Everton, we should have beat Everton, but the Suarez winner was disallowed wrongly. And of course, Arsenal midweek, Liverpool went 2-0 up, although they weren't the better side in my mind that day. Anytime you go 2-0 up, you want to win that game, and Liverpool were unable to hold on to it. And I think that's just because they're not at the point where Brendan Rodgers wants to be at, where they can really kill off games and really play consistent 90 minutes of winning football against these top-class sides. But I think as long as Liverpool keep playing like this, it'll all come together. They have West Brom in a couple weeks. West Brom, I believe, is an 8th place top half side, so Liverpool will have an opportunity to prove themselves against a top 10 side against West Brom. Liverpool also have Chelsea, Tottenham, and Everton all coming to Anfield in the remainder of the season, so Liverpool honestly can control their own destiny if they want to get a top 4, top 5 finish, because these all teams that they're in direct competition with coming to Anfield, if they can get maximum points in all 3 of those fixtures, then I really fancy them to get top 4, maybe top 5. But positive result today. It's really good to see Liverpool in full tilt and attack with their strongest starting 11. But imagine when Coutinho comes in, I think Jordan Henderson will maintain his place, and Coutinho will really have to fight to supplant Henderson, but with Coutinho's technique and trickery and pace and overall creative flair, he'll really add that dimension to Liverpool's side to make them that much more effective. So positive result today. Seeing how it's Sunday, let me know who you think is going to win the Super Bowl today. Although I think the 49ers should win, I ultimately, deep down in my gut, I think the Ravens will pull it off, something crazy. They seem like the team of destiny, sort of like the 2007 Giants of a couple years ago. I think they'll pull it off in some crazy victory, even though the 49ers probably should be winning the game. I'll be rooting for the Ravens just because I hate Colin Kaepernick. I have an irrational hate for them after what he did to my Packers a couple weeks ago. So down with Kaepernick. I want to see his ass get busted by Ray Lewis today. But give me your thoughts on the Super Bowl, on the match today. What do you think about Pepe Reina, and how do you think Liverpool will do going forward? Comments down below. Have a good week, guys. Signing off.